Good morning, friends. Welcome to OBEJournal 2018, number 2. Tonight it seems appropriate. Tonight. It's still dark. It's a little after 5 in the morning. So I guess it's before dawn, so it's still till night. Tonight it seems appropriate to reach out, to merge for whatever amount of space and time is seems to be allotted to us with higher self. Source self has been called a number of things over the years. Monad, labels, labels. And perhaps you're asking yourself, well, what does Gordon mean by higher self or monad? And my current conceptual understanding of higher self is that focus of consciousness from which all our earthly incarnations are prepared and emanate. The monad is a wondrous being capable of many things, many magically appearing manifestations. Or should I say, manifestations that appear magical. When you pass from this physical incarnation and move into whatever area of the astral plane you are most comfortable in, living the second half of this life that you're in now, this is the first half, you will not be, most of you anyway, immediately meeting up with your higher self. You will be reuniting with those you knew and interacted with, some lovingly and some perhaps not so lovingly, in this life. The afterlife is a continuation of this life. It is not, in my estimation, a new life. I will still be Gordon. You will still be whoever you are now. You will be continuing on. And you will have the opportunity to mend fences, to realize ambitions, particularly the ones that you found unable to realize here on earth through situation or finances or even, fear and doubt. You will be able to learn, play, improvise, understand your true astral nature as opposed to the fears or doubts or fantasies that you may have adopted, perhaps unconsciously, from whatever set of belief systems have influenced you here. At some point in your afterlife, you will feel, and this is different for everyone, depending on your needs and your ambitions, you will feel the need to explore your source, because you will have realized that your astral being is another protection. It is not, well, it is a source of a kind. It is a stage, but your ultimate source is much more likely to be your monad. And your desire to experience that, however long that may take, will emerge at some point. And for some of you, I don't think many of you watching this video, because in my estimation and my survey of the energies I feel coming to the videos, well, including, last year's too, you're all very mature or old souls. Young souls aren't particularly interested in finding out about higher self. And that's all well and good. They will someday. Those type of souls, will reincarnate, and they will merge with their higher selves at the end of their astral incarnation. But they will do so in an unconscious state. They will dream their way into it, into a sort of blissful dream, in which they will certainly pick up the vibrations, the consciousness of the higher self, and will merge with it for however long it takes. And of course, in that place, time is just a laughable fantasy. Doesn't really matter. They will absorb higher self-consciousness and bring some of it back for their next incarnation. And the details of that particular scenario, of course, has been covered in the Between Life Regression books, and I could cover it here, but it's due its own video, not this one. Too long. But a lot of you, and perhaps all of you watching this, will be wanting to and achieving a conscious reunion with your monad. And some of you have done that already. I know from your emails, Facebook posts, and published work, that you have achieved this to some degree. Maybe a fleeting glimpse is all you got, or 2 or 3 fleeting glimpses kind of stuck together. But that is a start, and it is actually enough. It's usually so transcendent that you're never going to forget it. And it's not just a preparation for a later merge from your afterlife stage. It is also an inspired glimpse into who you really are, as opposed to this limited, faulted, struggling being in this world. It is a glimpse that is much needed by us as we move through our inner journey, reaching out semi-blindly to the next stage, and bumbling and bumping into things, and recasting illusions in a more useful manner. The glimpse, the merge, however brief, with higher self is extremely valuable to those of us on the inner journey. And I know if you're watching this, you are on the inner journey. And it certainly doesn't matter to me what stage you're on. I pitch every one of these generally, not for people, souls at a specific stage, other than a sort of certain level of maturity that makes you interested in pursuing this higher self-consciousness, or glimpses thereof. Gee, I'm getting thirsty already. So I will take whatever imaginative means necessary to explore my contact. And I would like you, if you can, if you feel in a space where you can do this, to follow your own path, sort of lighted by mine and my words. And see what you need to see. And if that doesn't work for you, see what I'm seeing. Let us move out of our bodies. Let us project our consciousness away from this flesh. All of our consciousness. There's no need to lose bodily consciousness. There is just a need to project beyond it. Project a certain section, a certain percentage of your consciousness out of the body. Move away from that person you are in daily and nightly life. Move away from that identification. Become the expanded spirit that you really are. Make the leap, make the transfer to the next world, the next dimension. Doesn't that feel liberating? To be above your dwelling, to be above your room, beyond the bricks and mortar of the building. Out, away from community, into the air, up into the clouds, the sky. Already you feel like a new person. That higher vibration of the astral body is so exhilarating. One does get used to it, but when one first emerges, it is exhilarating. You know how to switch dimensions. You know how to go from the physical to the non-physical. Don't allow your doubts to dictate to you. Don't let them tell you that you do not know how to do this. You know. Just go with your knowing. And when you do that, as I am at this moment, Feel yourself in spirit, in whatever level of the astral plane you've landed in. Look around. See the deep, kind of throbbing radiance in all objects, whether it be the ground beneath your feet, the forms of nature around you, the buildings, the waters, the hills, the valleys, the trees, the flowers. Wherever you are, allow yourself to feel that inner radiance that seems to be almost leaping out of all forms, whether they be walls or trees or rock faces. Allow yourself to enjoy that level of vibration, that stage of unfolding. There might be other souls around, and there might not. Whatever you're experiencing is fine. You might be in one of the astral cities, walking down a lovely street. You might be in a park in one of those cities, enjoying the passers-by, the tinkling of a fountain. You might be in a rural area with nothing but nature around you, no dwellings, no people. There will, of course, be, birds and small animals and flowers and trees and grass. Wherever you are, allow yourself to feel that beauty, that eternal knowing of life as a measure of bliss. These are the summer lands, the eternities where souls remember how marvelous life can really be when shorn of the challenges and difficulties and troubles and illnesses of the physical plane. Some of you might be near or close to family members who are deceased. It might be a bit of a joyful reunion if you don't remember seeing them before. But let them know you're passing through. They'll understand. They might be a little puzzled if they haven't touched on the existence of the monad, of the higher self. Many who are in the heaven worlds feel that that is their final destination. And although the mysterious beauties and magic of the heaven worlds contains many mysteries that they do not really understand and perhaps do not wish to pursue, feeling that God has created a marvelous world and that their role is to just enjoy it in a manner of devotion and praise. I'm sure they will indulge you if you tell them you have to go somewhere and that you're just popping in to say hello. Let's move beyond the beautiful, inspiring, exciting astral worlds where creativity is always perceptible around you, all forms of creativity, whether it be the creativity of nature or man. Let us move to the pure, unformed, or without form energy planes. For me, that's hard to describe, perhaps not impossible, the formless energy planes. One seems to be in a cloud of light where sweeps of energy pass through like breezes, and each one sort of tingles with, again, another bliss, but sort of even more intense than the bliss you may have felt in the heaven worlds. These various levels of transcendence and bliss require a delicate language that is often beyond me. But in that cloud of light, or lights, various shades and textures of gold and white, and I don't know, amber for me, whatever colors you perceive are fine. That's sort of what I'm seeing. And if you look down at yourself or into yourself, you will not see a body per se. You will not see an astral body, the one that you would be using to traverse and interact with others in the spirit worlds. That has faded. It's not gone, it's faded. It is equally a part of you, a manifestation of the inner you that is perhaps seemingly grander than the astral body, seemingly more mysterious in its lack of definition, but it is a body. It's an energy body. It's a Buddhic body, as the Theosophists would have called it, I believe. Certainly beyond your astral and mental body. The farther up you go in the bodies, the less form they have, until at some point they have no form at all. We've skipped through a number of stages here because we wish to use our quote-unquote time to merge with higher self. And it is possible to meet higher self in the form worlds, as many of you have, where higher self descends that Jacob's ladder and becomes for a time a body that you will recognize. A body that may look like you, a body that may look eerily familiar, a body of radiant beauty, an angelic being, or a being seemingly angelic, saintly, beautiful, ever-giving. That is how higher self manifests in some occasions, on some meetings. Here we're in the formless worlds, and we're going to proceed with ease to what might appear as a glowing light on the horizon. That's a horizon where there is no horizon. That is a horizon where there is no landscape to present or form or clothe a horizon. But often what seems to be some kind of distance in this cloud of light, there is a sort of a deeper glow. Move towards it. Do not hesitate. Just move toward it. And when you enter whatever it appears to be, allow yourself to relax inside its, whatever you wish to call it, greater being, transcendent knowing, all understanding. Here you are in the monad. If it seems to take a shape or form, allow it to do so. Let it unfold its magic for you. You are at home. You started here. And at some point it will feel like you're ending here, but that will be at the culmination, the fulfillment of the soul energy character that you are now. Again, it will be another stage before you, at some point, feel the urge to return. And when you feel that urge to return, you will become an astral being, interacting with other astral beings that have form and human character, those with whom you have karma, those with whom you experience guidance, those who would love to help you with your next incarnation, and will actually do so at the drop of a hat. But now we are in higher self. We are merged. And many perceptions and thoughts can pass through you as you take up your temporary residence, realizing, of course, that it is a permanent residence, and that when you leave to have your adventures on earth, it is an apparent departure. All these departures and arrivals, they're just apparent. As far as the higher self is concerned, they happen as in a dream. The higher self dreams an incarnation, and you are the main character in that dream. And it follows you through that dream, always feeling your energy, sometimes seeming to participate, sometimes seeming to ignore. So, given that metaphor, allow yourself to feel your many incarnations, the dreams that higher self is dreaming, the dramas and the tragedies and the comedies unfolding in various epochs on earth. Allow yourself to feel bits and bobs of those adventures, the struggles against nature, the fights against oppressive political and religious structures that dictate to you, the challenges of growth and beginning and maintaining a family, through all the challenges of economics and illness and weather, all those destructive forms of weather that destroy people now and have destroyed people, physical people, throughout history. See all that unfolding. Allow yourself those glimpses, those terrors that you felt perhaps hundreds and hundreds of years ago, as death struck you down, as illness took you away, as rivals betrayed you, as judges condemned you, as partners cheated you, as children died in your arms. As the joys of family life surrounded you. The birthdays, the weddings, the happy times of celebration and contentment. Allow all these glimpses to come through. Relive them if you wish, as you may do. See all your lessons, or a goodly part of them, in this earth school. See your times of great devotion, your times of piety in the face of prophets and deities, your fear of not obeying the rules, your sacrifices to jealous gods, your towing the line to priests and their rules, your indulgence in lusts, those overwhelming hungers that would drive you in various lives, those exciting but sometimes oppressive ambitions. This is higher self. This is the higher self that understands and absorbs all these experiences, lessons, pleasures, excitements, disappointments, depressions, sadness, laughter. All of life is recalled here. It does not disappear. It can be put in a back pocket for the next leg of the journey, but it does not disappear. They do not disappear. So see as many of those beings as you can. Understand that each one of them is an integral part of who you are, and that the sum total of you, all those beings, including, if you wish to be adventurous, incarnations as animals and fish and birds. Higher self projects its energy into many forms. The pre-human ones may seem a little challenging, but they exist. And they all make up the totality of the being. The being who understands all life is included. The heroes and the villains, the light and the dark. Allow yourself to feel that. Greet who you wish. Interact with whoever seems nearby. Allow them to unfold into you. Allow yourself to merge. Feel their joys and sorrows, some of which may have passed hundreds of years ago, if not thousands. This is a glimpse of the totality of your being, of the being to which you belong, of the being that is you. Is this God? Is this divinity? Or merely divine? My experience tells me that it is a small step away from divinity. You understand all, but you do not exercise the powers of all-knowing. You do not take that role. You're not required to be a deity, even though you may have an understanding that is similarly deep and wide. There are enough deities to go around, believe me. Monads are not deities. They're immensely creative beings that have lived in and around other planets as well as Earth. That is a given rather than a conscious knowing. And we will, we will explore that on another occasion. Right now, we're giving thanks and returning to our bodies. It's just another place to be, as life is. Life, not life. The space in between. They're all just other places to be, to move your consciousness around, to explore and absorb and digest. And with that, I bid you farewell, dear friends.